Now in this segment right here, there was a lot of takeaways from game 3, even though a lot of things went right for the 76ers, including Embiid throwing his weight around to get Mitchell Robinson injured. They did awaken the sleeping dragon in Jalen Brunson, as Tibbs did apply a few adjustments to get Jalen Brunson going. So even with the 76ers having it going offensively, there were a lot of great takeaways when it comes to the Knicks offense. But I'm not going to say no more. Let's just get to it.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out.
To start up this matchup, the Knicks were able to knock down threes at a high efficiency, getting contributions from guys like OG Anunoby, Miles McBride, Josh Hart, and also Bojan. But with them making their threes from about a 50% clip, it began to dictate some of the defensive schematics of how the 76ers would approach into defending Jalen Brunson. So very early on, Tibbs is going to show some of his counter punches to the way that the Knicks have been defending Jalen Brunson, with Embiid and another help defender. Now look how high this ball screen comes, and also the flat screen, the way it's right behind Kelly Oubre instead of on his sides. You see Hartenstein right here has options in case this screen wasn't efficient. He can easily go from side to side. So that's one benefit. The second benefit right here is Brunson now can go downhill and catch Embiid backpedaling. While at the same time, if someone wants to help, they're going to have to make that full commitment. See, now look at all the spacing. Now Embiid is one-on-one in the island by himself. Someone's going to have to help out, possibly leaving Josh Hart open. But look at all the space. Brunson could operate all the way from out here. He could pull up, or he could attack Embiid while he's backpedaling. So it does give the Knicks a lot of options right here, as Brunson just decides to pull up. Looking at it again, and with Brunson, as we've seen before, with them setting these type of screens even closer, it's a tighter space to operate, and it allows other players to actually help out because the spacing gets tighter the closer you get to the cup. But once again, this is a great counter because look at all that space the Knicks got. Brunson has not seen space like this in this whole series thus far. But we'll go ahead and take a look at some more examples of the Knicks using these type of screens. Now let's see the type of screen that Brunson gets from Hartenstein right here, as he's completely behind Kelly Oubre. But this type of flat screen right here, well, it's not necessarily a flat screen because of the way he's facing, but just setting the screen behind this defender here is going to give Hartenstein the option of just actually running a second screen, depending on which direction makes sense. You see how he switched right there? So here's the second screen now. Here's another example of Josh Hart setting his screen completely behind the defender instead of on his sides. And it's going to allow Brunson the ability to go downhill. And setting this screen a lot higher, maybe out here, is going to allow Brunson to not only catch Embiid going backwards to attack the hoop, kind of give him an advantage to stop at a drop of a dime and pull up. But there's a few advantages of giving these type of screens. Not only going downhill, you have the ability to rescreen depending on which side that you have the advantage in. It's interesting that Tibbs went this route because these are the types of things that we see Eric Spoelstra run with Bam Adebayo down in Miami. Now, once again, pay attention to how high the Knicks are setting these screens mid-court, and also Mitch getting right behind Kelly Oubre trying to set this screen. So they're giving Brunson the ability to go downhill, and now we see Josh Hart comes into the fold as it's a double screen on both sides, as it gives Brunson the dual options of choosing which side to go, and now they can get into their actions. Look at Mitch, not afraid of setting a second and third screen. This just seems like this is going to be the battle in this series, the battle of the pick and rolls, but it allows the Knicks to get into some action and create spacing for Josh Hart to knock down the shot. Let's check it out again. The double screen comes through. Mitch can rescreen over and over, and look at the spacing that it now creates for other shooters. So right now we're seeing the benefits of Knicks running their actions way up top, opposed to them starting their actions down here. Start the pick and roll down there. The spacing is going to be much tighter coming off that pick and roll. So right here, we're going to see the same screen get set by the Knicks. And now we're going to have the rim protector and Paul Reed backpedaling. See, this is the exact position we want Embiid to be backpedaling like this. And just looking at it one more time, we could also look at the help defender. This is more of a commitment. And the screen is set up high like this. Brunson coming downhill. He doesn't have not only as much time to react, he has to kind of overcommit, as it's going to leave more spacing for the shooter. Now right here, we're going to see a prime example of the pick and roll at the 3-point line, as Tobias Harris will stunt in, and the spacing is going to be much tighter. But Jalen Brunson was definitely on one in the first half, as he was able to finish this. But we are seeing the differences between Jalen Brunson getting a screen at the 3-point line versus mid-court, as it's going to be a lot easier for the 76ers to send that help defender to clog up his lanes. Now, in the last 3 minutes of the first quarter, Joel Embiid subbed out. And within those minutes, Tyrese Maxey carried the 76ers for 7 points and a steal. And on the Knicks side, what pretty much hurt them is the 2 turnovers they had, as they scored 9 points on 66% shooting. And even though the 76ers as a unit within those same minutes had 10 points on 37% shooting, but the 2 turnovers really turned out to be crucial within the battle of those minutes, as the Knicks were not able to take advantage. Now fast forward to the second quarter, when Jalen Brunson had checked out for a 4-minute span, the Knicks were able to maintain themselves with the help of OG Anunoby and Miles McBride, as they scored 8 points on 60% shooting with 0 turnovers, while at the same time the 76ers were only able to get 5 points on 50% shooting on 1 turnover by Cameron Payne. And with the 76ers, they have introduced a brand new dynamic with the role men within this game, as Cameron Payne was able to contribute 8 points in the first half, as well as Kelly Oubre. So Nick Nurse is beginning to pivot off of Buddy Hield and also implement a new strategy of just cutting down Tobias Harris's minutes and trying to find additional scoring off the bench. Now, one dynamic that played out in that first half was Joel Embiid being more assertive in attacking the rim, as he was able to draw Hartenstein as well as Mitchell Robinson in that first quarter for 2 fouls apiece. And with over 9 minutes left in the second quarter, he quickly got Hartenstein caught up in his 3rd foul. And the same thing would eventually happen to Mitchell Robinson. So with 3 fouls apiece to our centers, just playing around 10 minutes, it definitely was a tough blow to our interior defense, as it opened things up for Joel Embiid in the second half. But with him just throwing his weight around so much, not catching that flagrant, getting Mitchell Robinson taken out of the game, he would eventually become a problem in the second half, with Tibbs having no other options than to sticking Precious Achiuwa on him. Now in the second half, because of the Knicks role players actually making their shots, it seems like the 76ers stopped sagging off some of the corner shooters, especially when Brunson is on the ball. So normally Kyle Lowry will sag off and start to get in his attacking lanes. As we're going to see right here, Brunson actually setting Kelly Oubre up for this screen right here. Check out Hartenstein. He's going to get right behind Kelly Oubre, and then he knows which side to set the screen on. Now taking a look at it again, we're going to take a look at Kyle Lowry. Watch as he stays put once Brunson goes on the attack. Okay, so continue on with some of the looks that Brunson is getting now in the third quarter. We see Dante tap the backside of Oubre, try to create some confusion, and Hartenstein coming up here for the double screen. So go screen into a double screen right here. Not once, but twice. And now we get Embiid right where we want him, backpedaling, going downhill. Let's take a look at that again one more time. Dante with the ghost. Now Hartenstein with the double screen right here. Not once, but twice. And now, because we started running action starting from way up here, now we have enough space to go downhill after about the 3rd screen. So we got Embiid right where we want him. And Brunson right to his sweet spot. Now once again right here, check the technique of Hartenstein as he comes up right behind Kelly Oubre to make the decision on which side is the best to screen at. Once again, this is a tactic utilized by the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra. But it gets Brunson a one-on-one draw for a good look. He just misses it. So once again, this adjustment right here kills two birds with one stone. First of all, the Knicks starting their actions way up here gives Brunson a lot of space to go downhill, especially if Hartenstein catches him on this screen, this flat screen right here. If Hartenstein does not catch him, then he'll have the flexibility of making adjustments by either setting a screen here or taking a step and trying to set the screen on the other side. So he can choose whichever way best suits Brunson at that very moment. Okay, so right here with Brunson cooking, we're going to see him actually hunt Tyrese Maxey. As originally, Maxey was guarding Dante. So Dante is the one that's going to set this screen, sort of a pin down screen right here. And now he got Brunson one-on-one with Maxey, which is exactly what the Knicks want. So now they're going to run pick and roll, and he's able to draw the foul. So there's a number of counters here with dealing with some of the looks that Jalen Brunson is getting. You could either hunt for Maxey, or you could start off pick and roll action way up top here, or just having Jalen Brunson come from the sidelines and then getting a screen and attacking and making his way to the weak side, where you have three initial shooters already either ready to shoot or collapse into the paint. So there's numerous ways this Philadelphia 76ers defense could get attacked when it comes to dealing with some of the defensive schematics the 76ers had applied to Jalen Brunson. So even though the 76ers are cooking up, Joel Embiid does not want Jalen Brunson to catch him lacking, going downhill, having backpedaling again. So in order to avoid all that, he's going to try to hedge this screen right here. And watch Hartenstein in the basketball IQ. Now Hartenstein is going to throw a ghost screen. And watch Jalen Brunson. They're both in sync right here. And Hartenstein, being a big man with his athleticism, finishes on the other end. Once again, this is just another piece of the chessboard. This is the Knicks' initial counter for the double teams or just some of the defensive schematics they have thrown at Jalen Brunson, starting off their actions from way up here. And now the 76ers are going to try to counter because they do not want Joel Embiid backpedaling to the hoop. So he's going to try to hedge this. And now here's another counter right here. Hartenstein's ghost screen. Basketball IQ. Shout out to IH. Doing his thing. The athletic big man. Now with the 76ers and their hot shooting, it's interesting to see what gamble they took right here, as they have Kyle Lowry completely sagged off a Hart. Now Brunson right here, he kind of sees it already. So he sees his attacking lane is already clogged up. Lowry's right there, sagged off. As right now he's looking towards his left, and he's going to make his dribble move, pass, right to Hart to get him more space. So with the 76ers hot shooting, it just seems like they're more comfortable at this very moment of letting the other Knicks shooters beat them. And once again, look at Embiid. In transition, he cannot even go all the way to the paint. So we have to kind of question the longer this series goes, can he really keep playing way out here, especially with that bum knee? But pay attention to the technique that Iheart is actually going to try to set this screen. He comes right directly behind Oubre, and now he has the option to set this screen on the right side. So he sets a double screen, and now one-on-one with Embiid, and Brunson could stop at a dime and pull up. Now Brunson right here catches Embiid lacking. Because the Knicks been setting all these screens up here, now Embiid is focused on where Hartenstein is at all times, and Brunson kind of notices it, so now he's going to turn on the Jets. Look at Embiid. It's way too late. Brunson caught him lacking. Man, I'm telling you, boy, even though the 76ers were cooking in this third quarter, Brunson was on some different shit. As you're going to see right here, him completely wave off this screen from Hartenstein because he doesn't want to bring Embiid way out here, because now he can eat with Maxey. So he's going to call for this one right here. Now OG's going to run this pin down on Batum. Now he gets the one-on-one with Maxey, and now he's going to school him. Gonna take him to school, boy. And one. Look at Brunson's arm. He letting Maxey know. Brunson was so hot at the end of that third quarter. Look at Kelly Oubre right here. Instant blitz. Got to get the rock out of his hands. So in the third quarter, the 76ers really got it going with their offense, dropping 43 points, along with 9 3-pointers, Joel Embiid scoring 18 points. There was even a stretch where in 3 straight possessions, Joel Embiid hit nothing but threes. But him and Tyrese Maxey was cooking with the two-man game, especially out in the perimeter. Some of the role players like Cameron Payne and Kelly Oubre stepped up, knocking down their 3-point shots. But the Knicks offensively had it going also, is that the 76ers brought it up to a whole other level. So in the fourth quarter, in the non-Joel Embiid minutes, which was within the first 5 minutes, the Knicks did not only take advantage of him not being on the floor, but also the 3 turnovers the Philadelphia 76ers had in that time frame. Cameron Payne was turning the ball over like crazy, kind of erasing what he did in that first half with those 3-point shots, as the 76ers got 5 points on 40% shooting. And the Knicks were very disciplined on the ball with only 1 turnover, but again, them not capitalizing on their shots, as they had 9 shot attempts, which was way more than the 76ers within that time frame. But they were only able to get 9 points on 44% shooting. So within the first 5 minutes of the fourth, had they effectively utilized that, they could have cut into the lead way more, because by the time Embiid checked in, they were still only down single digits, which kind of says a lot about the offense throughout the night. The Knicks weren't performing that bad at all. They were doing their thing offensively, even though the 76ers were shooting lights out in that third quarter. They were only up single digits going into the final stretches of the game. When Joel Embiid isn't on the floor, the spacing just looks completely different. Look at the free lane Precious Achiuwa has to attack. No big man out there to get in the way. Now Brunson right here hits Batum off with the footwork. And watch the whole defense collapse, but it doesn't matter because Brunson still gets that to fall and 1. But once again, overall in this whole game, the Knicks offense wasn't as bad as what it seems. That's one good takeaway from this game. The offense in a way finally woke up in this series. Now one dynamic in this series that's going to be real interesting is the insertion of Precious Achiuwa. He's definitely way more athletic than Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. So I'm wondering if his speed from time to time will throw off Joel Embiid. But this is a great slide by Lowry right here to get in the way to get the charge. But just overall, I want to just go over the possible Precious Achiuwa dynamic in this series. It could present a change of pace in the Knicks offense. So that could be something defensively the 76ers might have to get adjusted to, especially Joel Embiid on that bum knee. Yeah, so right here with the Knicks chasing from behind, notice Batum does not follow Hart. Hart's going to go right here all the way to the weak side corner. But it seems like the 76ers have gone back to that little triangle they love to trap Brunson in. But overall, there's a lot of positives to take away from this game. Jalen Brunson finally got cooking. And it just wasn't really about his scoring. It was his ability to get guys open, as he had 13 assists. And also, he was able to draw a lot of fouls on the 76ers players, as they were over the bonus with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But the Knicks weren't really able to capitalize off of that, as the refs, their whistles tend to go Joel Embiid's way, as he shot 21 free throws for this whole game and 13 alone in the fourth quarter. So for the 76ers, that should kind of raise a red flag that it took a 50-point performance with all those free throws to still only being up single digits going down the stretch of the fourth quarter. Had the Knicks only have one real good run during the minutes in which Embiid was getting rest, this could be a completely different game. And this is after them having that miraculous third quarter where they shot lights out. But once again, this is a great sign for the Knicks offense, as this is really the first game in the series, and Jalen Brunson was carving them up with that pick and roll from all types of angles, getting them into foul trouble, drawing up different looks to get guys open shots, and finally to working his way to dropping 39 points on 13 assists, hovering around 50% shooting. So even in this loss, we see Tibbs adjust the game plan to find Jalen Brunson a sort of sweet spot, a sort of level of comfortability within the offense to get going. For the 76ers, it just seems like they need a collection of things to go right. Guys like Cameron Payne knocking down shots, Kelly Oubre on fire, them actually getting bench points, Embiid shooting 21 free throws, Mitchell Robinson getting injured, It just seems like a whole lot of things had to go right just to be up by single digits until the game ended. But we'll see what adjustments they make. We'll see which role players will step up. And until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.